Hello. It's time to play with some fun effects again. Why not? Okay. This one is called I See a Ghost. Is that not cool? It's kind of trippy, huh? Whee! Okay. Anyway, the journal is labels, names, and words will fade with 3D or the internal internet. We won't be needing this external thing much longer. It's from 9/3 of 2010, the first of that day. Mayan day was 9 light, Lord, or sun. Medical intuitive healers can be such wonderful ones. They work for the benefit and blessing of each one. Now, many of us do that, but the medical intuitives can, for short in this case, are gifted in such a way that things open up for them to be seen that we all probably wish we could see. Thus, they are able to be more specific in the blessings they bring, and that's great. It's a bit like the difference, perhaps, between a light bulb and a laser. One is directed and fierce in its specificity, and the other more gentle and general. If you want something done fast, use a laser, but be careful with that. Now, be prepared for the internal upset, of course, as things change state, including bodies. There's a general shuffling that's done to come to balance in the new, in the higher state. Well, hopefully it's higher. And if you're working with someone like Ken, then it is. What do I have to say today that is useful? Heck, how can I know that? What is useful to one is not so much to another. So I'll leave that in the capable hands of Prime Creator, of Source, of God, Higher Self, whatever it is, it will still answer. It's a principle, not a person. It likely couldn't care less about the names and the labels we put on things. That's a very 3D way of being, using labels and names for things. Those things have their own levels of consciousness. All exist in the one, and all are speaking, so to speak. Oh, all are radiating their light, their identity out in their vibration. And this can be read. As we are raised up higher in consciousness, in vibration, in being, we begin to hook up more directly with things. You see, they aren't really things. They just appear that way. It's an illusion. It's all waves of vibration. Just as the computer decodes what's on the disk and brings things to you as a program, as a movie, as a picture, whatever, so do our minds work, only much more sophisticated, of course. Our minds receive, just like the computer, the bits and the bytes of vibration for everything. Every supposed thing shines and radiates out its vibration, its essence, into space. These are picked up and decoded by the mind into the visible universe, into the reality we see, feel, smell, hear, and touch. It's not really there any more than the things are on the computer. They're not really there either. Those are just representations of things. Those are images. Well, so is the universe, just in a more complex way. And that is all. Frankly, folks, we do pretty darn good, or well, I never know which. With the 10 to 12% of our brains we have current access to. We do just fine. Come on now, stop and consider. Notice I didn't say think. What it could possibly be like with 100% of your brain online and functioning. Oh my God. It goes beyond amazing, I'm quite sure. Come on. 90 freaking percent? Ah! Talk about mind-blowing. Ye gods, it would be so different as to make this world we perceive here. Well, it's frankly not imaginable. Maybe it would make it like a cartoon or something. It's too radical a difference to compute with the little 10% we are working with, and that's fine. Okay, now you can step beyond all limitation like that quite simply. You guessed it, by entering heart space. There are no limits here. Things are quite different. That's why you can't bring in the mind with you. But that's fine. You'll soon find it to be so very grand, you'll wonder what all your hesitation was about. If you go and read my transcripts on Scribed, you will note that I parenthetically indicate interesting typos. To me, they're not typos, that is, mistakes, at all. Everything speaks. You know that. At least your heart does. So, as perhaps the oddest or one of the oddest typos yet, this body typed able when the word coming through was about. Like this. You'll wonder what all your hesitation was able. See? Able instead of about? Oh, well, nothing comes to me right away, so I'll move on. Okay, folks, just to come out and make it plain, the light beings are working with us, with our physicality. We are coming and quickly into an age when we'll be anything but limited, as we have been for so many centuries and millennia now. We're being hooked up. Our quote-unquote junk DNA is coming online, reconnecting. So, you see, it won't be so many years before we have that 100% to work with again. Only by then we'll be raised up in light into a higher level than 3D, we're raising up now. The Andromedans call it upliftment. There's some of the ones, the light beings, who are assisting us with this on the inner, not the outer in most cases. So, how connected are you with your inner being? How much time, shall we say, do you spend centered in heart? It doesn't have to be all meditation time, you know. My whole life is meditation. So is yours if you want it that way. Stillness in action. Silence in the midst of noise and activity. These are possible. Puppy, get out of there. To the extent then that you're connecting with your inner being, you're probably beginning to be conscious of your heavenly helpers there. So much of this work is done on our bodies while we're asleep. So you may contact it or observe it in dreams. You can ask to be shown. One never knows. Sometimes a request like that is granted. It all depends so very much on things we're not yet privy to. So just take what comes, okay? No expectations, no